Hi everyone, Kamal here. I wanted to talk about goal setting and how to achieve goals and all that things today. Big stuff. நான் இதை பற்றி திங்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன் and I'm not gonna say anything new, but I will perhaps this is my learned experience or my lived experience. So I feel like sharing lived experience is always useful, and you will also find it useful definitely. So when I was thinking about goals, um, there are like goal setting is very easy. It is talked about a lot. எல்லாருமே அதை பற்றி பேசுகிறோம் and it's common knowledge. Social media எல்லாருமே everyone is talking about goal setting, and you have to have goals. But the problem with goal setting is that goal setting can be very easy. Like you can think of something and make it your goal, right? So it's very easy, but at the same time it's very difficult. It's almost to the point that you will forget your goals at some point. மறந்து இப்படி ஒரு கோல் இருந்ததே நம்ம மறந்துடுவோம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் college டைமில் I wanted to be a lyricist, so I was writing a lot of English lyrics, and I write random Tamil கவிதைஸ். பட் இதெல்லாம் ஒரு கோலாக இருந்தது அந்த டைமில். லைக் நவ் ஐ ஃபர்கெட் அபவுட் இட். இந்த வீடியோக்காக நான் திங்க் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கும்போது ஐ ரிமெம்பர் தட். So that's how it can become very difficult. That life will happen, that your goalpost will move at some point. It used to be a huge thing for someone in Tamil Nadu to have a 12 LPA job, right? Because once you have a 12 LPA job, you have 1 lakh coming to you. That's at least in our heads. 1 lakh coming to you, and you'll be set, right? But now it's not the case now, and the goalpost move aidichu. It has become maybe 20 lakhs, maybe 30 lakhs, maybe more than that for some people. But in general, but the positiveness or the outcomes, the good outcomes of goal setting is always still there. It's still there. But the problem I think is that we have like made it very complex. So and it is a process that can become very complex despite you trying. ஸோ நீங்கள் வந்து கோலை முடிச்சிடணும், கோலை அச்சீவ் பண்ணிடணும், இதெல்லாம் நம்ம ட்ரை பண்ணாலும் it will become very complex. So even though you have a notebook, you write every day, you have a journal, இதெல்லாம் பண்ணால் கூட it's very likely that you will find that you're not making progress, or your goal post is moving, or you just forget about the goal, or it's just plainly difficult to track and like go towards the goal. So one of the very obvious things that we can do is the smart goal setting. I think if you work in a corporate, that's probably something that you have already heard. Smart goal setting is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக இது தான் பண்ண போகிறேன் இந்த டேட்டில், இந்த டைமில், this is what I'm going to achieve. That is specific. And measurable is essentially how you're tracking. For example, if your goal to say achieve 1 lakh savings, 1 crore savings, that's a common goal for Indians. So you can measure it by performance of your portfolio, performance of your, like, how much you're saving, how much percentage of my salary I'm saving, and how much a percent of 1 crore is it. And the tracking onala panna mudiyum. So it's measurable and achievable. Yes, 1 crore is achievable for you if you're educated and working in India. Even if you're not so educated, but still if you're working hard, 1 crore is very much achievable in India. And achievable, it should not be like, I have to make, I have to beat Elon Musk. It can be a goal, but it cannot be a smart goal. And relevant, you have to have the relevant. This I think is very important. If you don't feel relevant to the goal, for example, in the case, I want to be a lyricist. Gold is like not relevant to me. I had a bit of a passion, but doesn't mean that I have to chase it, right? Like we have passions, multiple passions. Whenever we see someone doing or excelling something, we also want to become that, and we know we are capable of it. So at the time we can just start a new path and say, okay, this is my goal. But is it relevant for you is a very very difficult or very very important question that you have to always have answer to. Otherwise, like, what's the point of achieving the goal, right? So yeah, relevant and time bound. Time bound is also like very very important. We all have like limited time in this earth, so we have to always keep our goals time bound. So this is the smart framework, like you already know, but I somehow feel that the smart goal in the points I have never brought into my life goals. So even though I thought about, okay, at 40 I'll achieve this, I'll have this. This is how my family is going to be. This how my friend circle or social circle is going to be. இதெல்லாம் வந்து வேக I thought about all of this, பட் இது எக்ஸாக்ட் ஸ்மார்ட் ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க் எடுத்து வந்து நான் அப்ளை பண்ணணும்னு கேட்டால் இல்லை. பட் ஐ திங்க் திஸ் வில் பி வெரி வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல், அண்ட் திஸ் வில் எசென்ஷியலி அந்த டிஃபிகல்ட் பார்ட் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, கோல் செட்டிங்கில் தெர் ஆர் லாட் ஆஃப் டிஃபிகல்ட் திங்ஸ் லைக் கோல்ஸ் மூவிங், லைக் யூஆர் நாட் ஏபிள் டு பி நாட் ஏபிள் டு ட்ராக் வேர் யூஆர் இந்த பாத் இந்த ஜேர்னி. அதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து ஸ்மார்ட் கோல் சிஸ்டம் வந்து வெரி வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல். And like better with ChatGPT, with AI, we can do like bigger goals and better goals in the coming years. But going back to the difficulties, so this is one part of the answer, that if you have a smart goal, you can perhaps it must be easier to achieve your goals or a specific line of thought இருக்கும், specific track இருக்கும். This is how you're going to achieve your goal. You know what is going to come next and all that. But the most important or the psychologically difficult part is to have a fun and fulfilling life while you're chasing your goals. So I think ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான விஷயம், because if you're loosely on touch with your goals, then you might lose track of your goals, right? If you're very very like chasing your goals, if you're keeping your diary, like writing on it and tracking your goals, you're like, maybe you find it difficult to have a very satisfying fulfilling life. So அதுதான் நான் இன்னைக்கு நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தேன். இன்னைக்கு I was thinking about it. So what I want to share is that see, the goals that you have is essentially where you want to reach. It's your North Star. North Star, like there can be multiple North Stars in this case, but it is where you want to reach. But the path or the days, your days, நீங்கள் daily இருக்கிறீங்க இல்லையா, so we are living daily, even though you are achieving like 2030 December 31st I'll achieve my goals, but I am going to live every day. Doesn't mean that I have to like lose the fun in life. So for that I feel like very measured going back to your goal setting will help, because it'll help you to do two things. In the progress checking, நான் எங்கே கோல் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணேன், நான் அந்த டைமில் எந்த பொசிஷனில் இருந்தேன் அப்படின்றது, ப்ளஸ் where I am right now, where I want to go. If you keep checking this, and also it can be very overwhelming, because if you are not making progress, for example 5 years goal first 2 years, first 2.5 years, maybe first 3 years kuda you will not be able to make much progress in some cases. So it can be very unnerving, right? You enna pandrathu. So and the times we have to still have fulfilling lives. So goals, I want to tell you that you have to have a loose connection with your goals, or it's like ஒரு பலூன் மாதிரி வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். உங்கள் கோல்ஸ் தான் பலூன், and you have to keep it in your hands. You have to make sure that you keep it in your hands, but at the same time you don't want to like hold the balloon and keep it to yourself. Like you have to like freely float it. அந்த மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா ஐ திங்க் you will enjoy the daily. um, at the same time you will still have the goal in your hand, and know that this is where I'm going, this is where I'm reaching. And your specific meaning your the progress sessions are clear when you're journaling, and the progress sessions will essentially tell you that okay, this is where we are going and this is what I'm going to do, and even though I'm not there yet, it's fine. ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஃபைன்ன்ற விஷயம் வந்து இட்ஸ் வெரி லோடட். ஏன்னா இட்ஸ் ஃபைன்ன்றது இட் டசன்ட் மீன் தட் கோல் அச்சீவ் பண்ணனா ஃபைன் இல்லைன்னு இல்லை. டைம் இஸ் வெரி 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 ட்ரிக்கி. ஸோ இஃப் யூஆர் ஹேவிங் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இப்போது என்னோட கேஸில் வந்து நான் 6 இயர்ஸில் ஒரு கம்பெனியில் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டுருந்தேன். 6 இயர்ஸில் ஐ வாஸ் லைக் ஏர்னிங் வெரி லோ அண்ட் மை பியர்ஸ் வர் லைக் க்ரோயிங் பியாண்ட் வாட் ஐ வாஸ் டூயிங். Not just in money terms but in also career terms. They were doing like much better roles, much better companies, bigger companies, abroad opportunities and whatnot. So but I had this goal to work at a global company at the time. That was my perhaps the first company. So in my second company I went, okay, global company la work pananum. But 6 years was a long time to wait. But when that shift happened, now global company on enter ஆகும்போது I was able to like make up for time. Essentially I was not losing anything because I stayed 6 years in that company. Maybe I could have saved more, but that doesn't matter in the long run. So these things, the tricky part of time is that it can unravel a lot of things in a very very short time. So you will call it luck, you will call it opportunities, multiple people will call it multiple things, but time is a very very tricky thing. So you have to believe in it. That's where the hope part comes in. So இது அந்த கோலை முதல்ல நீங்கள் ஸ்மார்ட் ஃப்ரேம்ஒர்க்கில் வைக்கும்போதே you have to believe in it, of course. And also while you are checking progress you have to believe in it. And while you are seeing that okay, I am too far from my goal, someday நீங்கள் எடுத்து பார்த்து என்னடா இது I'm not making progress at all அப்படின்னு நினைக்கும்போது கூட you have to still believe in it. You have to find reasons to believe in it. And the biggest reason I say is time. So time can like quickly change things. You just need to do your dailies consistently and also be satisfied in your dailies. So either நீங்க பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தீங்கன்னா you can be consistent. So if you're punching yourself for not progressing, then your daily and the day in and day out will become very restless and nervous and stuff. And அதுவே வந்து உங்களோட டிகிரேடேஷனுக்கு ஆர் ஃபர்தர் ப்ராக்ரஸை பண்ண முடியாமல் தடுக்கிறதுக்கு அதுவே சீட்ஸ் அமைஞ்சிடும். ஸோ எசென்ஷியலி வாட் ஐம் சேயிங் இஸ் தட் keep your goals but keep it very loosely tied to you, and keep your progress and use the progress checks to ensure yourself that you will still achieve the goal. That time has a lot of things that you don't know that it will unveil at the right time. And have that hope. And if you have that hope, it will be very easy to do the difficult stuff for you, which is working on yourself, which is making sure that you're in the right mental framework when you're entering into a room, any room, with your manager, with your client, with your supplier, whatnot, with your workers, with your employees. So yeah, this is what I want to share, so that you will have a fulfilling journey towards your goal. And that's the video. Bye.